Q&A very soon, 7 days time. Hopefully you enjoy it.
There's a real problem there.
Yo, what's going on guys, it's someone, welcome back to a brand new video. Finally, here is the Q&A for 3,000 subscribers, and it's a week late, but it's finally here. I was busy last week, unfortunately I couldn't get it done in time, but I finally got around to doing it, and we are finally here with the Q&A. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the questions, and let's see what horrific things you guys may have asked me. So the first question comes in from Nick Afflat, and he asked me, what is my favourite type of video to make? Is it career mode, a collaboration, let's play, or a showcase? Straight off the bat, it's probably a collaboration. If I'm doing it with the right person, or with the right people, a collaboration is just so much fun. You can have so much fun on a collab, it's just unbelievable. And you can just have so many epic moments that you can just put together in a montage, and it just, you'll be so proud of that once you come back to it in time. Career mode, I'd put career mode right up there because I really enjoy career mode. When you do a really special series that means a lot to you, or you do something that you put a lot of effort into and you see it do really well and you're really satisfied with the final package, that's also very, very satisfying. I think a collaboration just edges it for me, because a collaboration with, you know, your friends or people that you really go on well with, you can't beat that in the day for me. You know, a good collaboration is always going to make for a good video. The next question comes in from Tom, or another Tom, apart from myself, and he asked, what is my least favourite Grand Prix on the F1 calendar? And that would have to be, easily, without a shadow of a doubt, the Chinese Grand Prix. I don't like China one bit. I think it's a very horrible track to drive. There's like two corners that I like. Even though it's given us the occasional good race, it's only been because of maybe some rain or safety. I don't know, like, it's never been because of the track itself. It's always been because of other circumstances. The most horrible track on the calendar. It was India and Korea, but since those two got axed, it's now definitely China, without a doubt. Hunter Squad asks, will I be doing a room/house tour when I hit 4,000 to 5,000 subs, or will it be later? And I've got to be honest with you guys, this is a video that I've always wanted to make, but the thing is, I don't really have much of a setup. Literally, my setup is all here. It's all here, right on my desk. This is all I've got. I could do a room tour, which would be more interesting. I don't know, it depends if you guys really want to see it. Maybe I could do a room tour someday, but in terms of a setup, like just setup video, I've got nothing going on. I've just got one monitor, my PC, and that is it. My steering wheel, and that is it. So I've got nothing major to show you guys. It's not, I haven't got no fancy gaming setup or anything like that. Yeah, let me know if you want to see it. I'm going to try and improve my actual gaming setup, hopefully over time, and then hopefully that will lead to maybe a gaming setup video. Maybe, I don't know, maybe down the line, maybe if I hit like 5,000 subscribers or something. But for now, probably not. Up next, Broccoli Mikoli asks, if I could travel back in time, 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, which 2 or 3 races would I have loved to see live? Even though I've been watching F1 for a lot of years, I'm not a particularly big historian type of guy. Oddly enough, they're all at Japan. So I think it's literally the scene from Rush, the final scene from Rush, the Japanese Grand Prix where Hunt goes up against Lauda in the pouring rain. That would have been interesting to see live, I guess. 1988, I believe. Sorry, 1988, I believe, sorry. When Senna and Prost came together at the final chicane, and then also 1990 when Senna and Prost came together at turn 1 in person at that speed. That must have been absolutely insane to watch. Those are the 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe a 50s race, just because maybe to see what the cars would look like when they had that very like bullet sort of shape about the cars. It was just literally the chassis and that was it. So maybe just to see what those were like in person, but there's not really that many that I can really think about in person. Next question from Ali Kid asks, are there any plans for future series? And the answer to that is yes, indeed. Fingers crossed, if things fall right into place nicely for the summer, then I've got some pretty big plans lined up, and I've got a couple of ideas, also a couple of collaborations, and it also depends on when F1 2016 gets released. I've been quite skeptical and quite negative in regards to the release date of F1 2016, and I think it's going to be quite late this year. It's going to be like late summer, September, October sort of time. So we're going to have quite a fair few months left with F1 2015 and other games. I'm going to try and put out a couple of good series. I'm not going to just put out a series for the sake of it. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to think of it really good and make sure it's a really good series. Also, let me know in the comments down below, guys. Would you like me to bring back maybe a season 2 of Full House? Maybe a season 2 of Zero to Hero, possibly? Let me know in the comments down below and I'll see what I can do. And who knows, maybe we can try and just reach some sort of agreement here and we can come onto common ground and maybe try and just make some sort of project together together. Bloomy asks, what is the best car on the grid, or the best car design, and also which driver has the best helmet in my opinion? First of all, the helmet, because the helmet's an easy one for me. Pascal Wehrlein has the best helmet by a mile. The glittery pattern with the yellow, orange and brown sort of thing, and the gold all mixed up and blended into one, looks absolutely unbelievable. I think his helmet is just perfect. His helmet is just spot on what everyone should achieve as a driver in terms of helmet goals. That's the thing. But in terms of the livery for the car, that's a bit more interesting. We give the teams a lot of grief and stick on Twitter for having very white, grey or black liveries, but there are some very nice ones this season. Red Bull, Manor, Mercedes, Toro Rosso, Ferrari, Renault. Those 6 are really, really nice. I like the Toro Rosso because they've sort of gone a bit darker this year. They've put more black on the car. The wheels are now black instead of gold, and it brings the car together a lot more. The Red Bull with the matte livery sort of finish looks absolutely insane. The Manor, which is the best looking car on the grid by an absolute mile. The Mercedes, even though it's grey, it just looks absolutely insane. If you look at it from the side, the way they've got like the black on each end with the rear wing and the front wing, and then they've got the livery absolutely optimized to perfection to how good it can look. The car just looks insane. And then the Ferrari as well, I wasn't too sure about at first when I first saw it, but it's sort of grown on me a bit more now. I still don't love it, but it looks pretty damn nice. And then also the Renault as well, probably a bit too yellow for me. Like, it's too plain. It needs a bit more just sort of pattern and stuff, like the 2010 Renault for example. Considering the grid, the Renault probably looks also very good, and it's very nice to have a bit of colour on the grid for a change. The next question comes in from Broccoli Mickely, his second question of the Q&A, but they've been 2 very good questions, so I had to include them in the video. And he asked, would you rather be a test driver for Mercedes or Ferrari, or a race driver at Manor or Renault? For me, I think this is a no-brainer. I would take the real driver, because you get to drive at every single race. It doesn't matter if the car's rubbish, you get to experience like every single track. So Australia, Monaco, Singapore, Spa, Silverstone, easy. I'd rather be a real driver for Manor or even Renault. Renault would be insane if I could be a real driver at Renault, because you know Renault, even though they're rubbish now, you know that they're going to develop over time into a good team. So if you can stay in Renault, you can get both. You can get a good car and you can get to drive every single race. So yeah, I'd pick the real driver at Renault just to say a team. Next up, Jake says, what is the favourite year of Formula 1 that I have watched? And that would have to be, even though it hurt me because I'm a Schumacher fan, 2012 was an absolutely incredible year. The 7 different winners was just insane, and then the way the title went down to the wire. Also, I would say 2010. That was a very interesting season. Even though the racing wasn't particularly good, you had up until like the last 3 races, you had 5 possible candidates for the World Championship, which is absolutely insane up until that point. And then, to be honest, it's not really a particular year, but I did like 2006, 7, 8. They were all very good because the Schumacher era had finished, and it was a fresh sort of time where you had all different drivers going for the title, and it was never concrete, you know, who's going to win the title. It was always up in the air as to who was going to win it, as 2007 and 2008 proved by the World Championship winner winning by a single point. And also, I'd probably give 2016 an honourable mention so far. The season's been absolutely insane so far. I mean, you know, you've had everything. You've had so many overtakes this year, which is unbelievable considering the regulations. You've had Max Verstappen win a race, and more importantly, Red Bull win a race before Ferrari. You've had the Mercedes crash already 5 races into the season. It's been an unbelievable season so far, and if it keeps on like this could be also a very good season to remember. Now, Callum Britton asks, how did I meet Arava and Cal, or Arav and Cal? Quite a long time ago. I met Callum first, and this was at the end of 2012. It was like August 2012-ish onwards. Towards the latter end of that year, we used to race on Mickey Motion's live streams on the PS3 way back in the day on F1 2011 and F1 2012, and we had a little group of guys on there, and I got particularly like, I knew everyone, but then over time people started dropping away, and I kept only in contact with Cal, maybe a couple of others, but it was mainly Cal who I kept in contact with, and we did leagues together, we did AOR together, AOR highlights through 2013, and we've been talking to each other and been mates ever since. It's just one of the things that has just stayed throughout the test of time. And then right at the start, I would say of 2013, literally in January, me and Cal signed up for the Afro League on PS3, which was Alex Afro's F1 Racing League back then. Arava was actually racing in there, and that's how we met him. At the time, when we met him, Arav had 300 subscribers, which is absolutely unbelievable to think about now. But he had 300 subscribers at the time when we met him, and he's just blown up since then, and so have me and Carl in many regards. So it's unbelievable, like us three, we sort of met each other, stuck together, and we still talk to each other to this day and always play games together. So, you know, it's just the way it happens, but I definitely wouldn't change any of it, and it's been really, really good. Racing Images asks, what is your favourite motor racing event outside of F1, such as Le Mans or Indy 500? And I've got to be honest with you, I don't really watch other forms of motorsport, to be honest. If you put it in front of me, I could watch it, if you know what I mean. I can play any sort of racing game, so to speak. In terms of stuff that I do watch, motor racing wise, I do watch Formula E on and off, and then I'm a big fan of MotoGP. MotoGP I tend to watch quite a lot. I really do like MotoGP, and I'm a big fan of motorbike racing. I have so much respect for the riders because it's just so dangerous, and you have to be so committed, and you've got to have big balls to race in motorbikes. But yeah, those are like the three. So F1, Formula E, and MotoGP. I don't really watch endurance racing because it's so long. I'm don't really enjoy it that much. And then IndyCar, I could give it a go. I've never really given it a chance, to be honest, especially, you know, now where things seem to be getting quite tasty. But yeah, it's mainly those three, and IndyCar and endurance racing I'm not really feeling. I could maybe try IndyCar one day, especially with the Indy 500, like you said, is coming up, so I might give that a little watch. For now, I think those three are what I'm sticking with, but who knows, maybe in the future I could open up to other sorts of motorsport. Next up, Adam asks, what sports do I watch other than F1? And then, are you doing any other sports in real life? And then, who do you think deserves to be the new F1 world champion? In terms of sports that I do watch apart from F1, well, I just said motorbikes and Formula E, but I do enjoy it. I watch tennis. I absolutely love football, as you can see. I've got my Chelsea shirt on. I love football. I watch football all the time. And those are like the main sports: tennis, football, motorbikes, and F1. Those are like my four sort of main ones. In terms of sports, I don't do any sports. I haven't done any for a long time, actually. I used to play football when I was younger, but I sort of dropped that when I moved, because I moved from one town to another, and I wasn't, it basically all fell apart. But I also did karting for about a year. Karting is just so expensive. You need so much money. I think I was pretty good, but I didn't consider myself good enough to like want to spend the extra money to advance and try and upgrade my kart, and it's just such an expensive hobby. And then finally, who do I think deserves to be a new F1 champion? I would have to say Daniel Ricciardo. If you're talking about someone who's never been a world champion before, I would love to see Ricciardo be a world champion, because he's deserved it in a way. He's always shown that he's had such good pace. He's just needed a little bit more from the car. And what it'd also be nice to see like someone like Max Verstappen win the championship. I feel like Ricciardo deserves it more because he's been close. He's won races. He just hasn't had that final package for him to really go for the championship. So I would like to see Ricciardo win the world championship sometime. Next up, Ilian, I think it's Ilian, a capital I with a lowercase L, which looks like two sticks, but I'm gonna say Ilian. Hopefully I got that right. But he says, how and why did I start with YouTube, and do I think Vettel has a chance to win the World Drivers' Championship this year? How and why did I start with YouTube? It was a case of I had one main inspiration who I watched, who I really wanted to make videos, and that was Syndicate, or Tom, the Syndicate project. And this was way back, like 3-4 years ago, when he was doing Minecraft all the time, and he was playing like Black Ops 1 Zombies, which I was really into at the time with my mates. And I sort of just found him out. I really was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I really want to do videos and put them up online. And at first, I did do Call of Duty and Battlefield and that sort of stuff, but I wasn't really feeling it. So I moved over to racing, which is what my passion is and what I really enjoy. And so far, you know, things are going really well. I think I've got a pretty decent channel now under me, and hopefully starting from this video onwards into the summer, things can really start to pick up, because like I said, my goal is 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so that'd be absolutely fantastic to do. To answer your question, Syndicate was sort of like an inspiration to me, and the reason why I started. And then another reason was just because I wanted to. I felt like it's fun to do this sort of thing as a hobby. It's really nice to just put videos online, and it's unbelievable when people give you such nice messages and just overwhelming support, and just to say thank you for doing this. And it's just such a nice feeling, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. And then, do I think Vettel has a chance of becoming the champion this year? not anymore. I think the Ferrari is too unreliable. If he'd have won at Australia and then actually started the race at Bahrain, but those 2 races alone have already just knocked the season just sideways for him. And also the Ferrari isn't as good as we originally thought, because now the Red Bulls are actually faster than the Ferrari, so I don't think so. And the final question of the Q&A, and this will be the last one, so hopefully you guys don't get too mad. I've got so many questions, so I'm trying to answer the ones that more than one person asked, so hopefully I sort of catered to everyone, and I don't want this video to be too long so you guys don't get too bored. But this is the final question, and it comes in from Leon, and he says, what do I like most about the Formula 1 community on Twitter? I'm guessing the F1 community as a whole in terms of the gaming side of things. I'd say okay, I'd say pretty decent. I think we've got a good little community going. I'd say in around F1 2012, 2013, that was when the community was at its peak. The game was pretty solid, you had plenty more YouTubers around, and overall everyone enjoyed F1 racing and everything just way more. Now in 2016, there's definitely less YouTubers, and there's also loads more debate about clickbaity stuff, and it's all so much more, there's so many more barriers, and it's all so much more contained and restricted, and it's okay still, but it's lost some of its magic, and also there's less people around. Like I said, it's got a bit thinner over time because the game has not been frankly good enough and people have just given up. I still say it's okay. I definitely enjoy being part of the F1 community, and especially now because I've got a nice base under me, so I'm sort of like, I'm not just a nobody, I'm sort of established a bit, so you know, most people know who I am, which is nice. So yeah, I'd say it's a decent community. But nevertheless, guys, that is the Q&A. Hopefully you have enjoyed it and I answered most of your questions. I got a hell of a lot more on this, but like I said, the time constraints, and also I'm trying not to answer the same question twice. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll answer a couple of questions I've never answered before, which was quite good. Some very good questions in there from you guys, and I really do appreciate it. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed the Q&A, and if you have, then please do smash the like button down below so you can try and hit 80 likes. That would be absolutely insane from you guys. And also, if you're new around here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and hopefully bigger and better things on the horizon, guys, as we move into the summer, and hopefully you guys stick around for the ride, and we can grow together. But yeah, guys, that's about it for this video, and I'll see you on my next one very, very soon. Goodbye.